My name is Bharat Talwar. I'm founder and CEO of TalentBurst. TalentBurst is coming up on its 20th anniversary in 2022. And when I started the business, it was just IT staffing. But at the current moment, TalentBurst is a workforce management company. And we have a combination of IT, engineering, life sciences staffing, but we're also a global employer of record, an agent of record, and we also provide high hazard payroll services to global 2000 companies, both domestically as well as in 5 countries outside the US.
That's wonderful. So Brad, I'm very interested in understanding what are some of the business challenges that you were facing in your company before you decided to bring on Sense?
You know, one of the biggest business challenges that we were facing was we were seeing great contractors that were finishing assignments for us. We were unable to engage them once they finished their assignment and moved on, whether it was a permanent job or a contract job after they'd wrapped up with TalentBurst. So we wanted to kind of bring in these qualified resources and kind of redeploy them, or just stay in touch with them so that maybe 1, 2, 3, or 5 years down the road, we could bring them back because they'd already done a great job for us. We knew what their references were because we were communicating with their hiring managers or their supervisors. And we felt that we could actually reduce our recruiting cycle because these were already, let's just call them pre-vetted or pre-qualified individuals that had actually completed a successful assignment for us. So we wanted to increase our outreach to them and at the same time keep them active and warm in our system, so it would kind of also shrink our cycle time to fill requisitions.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about redeployment, which is one of the biggest challenges in the industry. So, you know, once you were facing these challenges, and I'm sure you looked at different pieces of software, what made you choose Sense?
You know, Sense, there was many reasons why we picked Sense. One is, we just felt that the product roadmap that Sense has fit with where we wanted our redeployment and our recruiting program to head towards. We had many million profiles in our internal database. I think at the time we had like 15 million profiles. And we'd never really engaged with these 15 million individuals that were living in our database, even though we were placing several thousand of them every year. So once we implemented Sense, we were immediately able to kind of engage with a significant portion of those 15 million people. But what we started seeing is we started to see our redeployments tick up. And for the first time, we were able to communicate to them effectively because it's impossible to communicate via email, you know, with millions of people.
Right.
So we just needed a better mechanism, and we liked the Sense outreach, just the way the whole technology worked, the ease of use. The UI is beautiful, and I know, in fact, I always tell several other technology partners that we have that you should look at the Sense UI because it's just so pleasing to the eye, just the color combinations you guys use, just how intuitive the product is, it's just wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Can I press on with you and ask you for maybe 1 or 2 other stories where you've seen some business outcomes that have, you know, favorably impacted your business?
For sure. So to me, the biggest win for us having implemented Sense was March of 2020 and April of 2020. In the midst of the pandemic, we were using Sense multiple times a day with workflows that we'd never even imagined. We were communicating with our entire workforce, and the reason we had to set multiple workflows is that, you know, if you remember, different state governments were putting different rules, policies, return to work, you know, and we have contractor headcount in 48 states. So we had to kind of customize our communication to the workers, not only by state, but even cities like San Francisco had some very specific rules and regulations that they put in place. So we were able to communicate with our workers, not just in the state of California, but we could kind of really zone in on just those that were working within the city limits of San Francisco because we had all this data in our ATS.
Yeah.
So that was great because it was so easy for us to get this vital information to them instantly, and for them to then interact with us, ask us questions that we could resolve immediately. And frankly, we have a dedicated Sense SME, and she was great at crafting the communication and then routing it internally so we could resolve any of those requests or queries or fears, because there was a lot of people that needed to access things like our EAP.
Right.
So we were able to engage our HR teams very, very quickly. People had questions about payroll and benefits, and can I use my sick time because now I'm not working? Like, what happens to me? How am I going to pay for my bills? All of that stuff. So it was a hairy time, and Sense was literally the platform that we were on the most when basically the whole world was shut down, but we were using Sense for everything.
Thank you. That's wonderful to hear. Obviously, that sounds like a lot of productivity and efficiency gain. Have you also seen this impact your bottom line?
Yes. We feel that Sense is one of the very key technology partners that we have in our tech stack. And earlier today, I was in a session hearing about the AI healthcare success story that's happened over the last 24 months. We feel TalentBurst has a similar success story. Our business has basically doubled during the pandemic. So some of it is, and we as a management team attribute to having the right technology partners, and Sense is very much at the core of our stack, because without contractor engagement, we're going to fall flat as a company. So I would attribute a significant portion of that doubling to our tech stack, which Sense is, I would say, one of the superstars of that tech stack.